Flip the Script, Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life by Shemitria Smith. Chapter 5, Validation. Quotes: We crave for the good opinion of the world in which we don't believe, and tremble in face of its condemnation, which we despise and condemn in our hearts. From Herman Suderman. The only validation you should strive to get acceptance from is God. I know, I know. We live in a world where validation and acceptance is a driving factor in everything around us. But, and hear me out, what if you no longer felt the need to participate in society definitions, which changes often, by the way? I like to call it the roller coaster ride. What if you made a choice and decision which stated that I choose to focus on what steps I need to take, what moves I need to make, what ideas, pouring, loving, what is it that I need to do to be validated by God? And what does that mean, to be validated by God? I think, in the most simplest terms, we have to look at it the same way we look for validation and acceptance from people. We want people to believe that we are loving, kind, genuine, peaceful. And there are plenty of facts behind this because if you look at numerous reels and photos on social media, we are always presenting to the world our best selves. It is usually a surprising caught on camera moment that people find their celebrity crushes might have a bad boy girl side to them. So, getting back on point, validation. Yes, I know this is a hard one because a lot of us have been conditioned unconsciously to seek and approve validations, especially now that they equate to dollar signs. So, what if you thought of validation with the thought of, God, walk with me as I constantly seek and live with steps that show that your validation is one of my highest regard. So lead the way. What if you simply stop putting so much focus on the acceptance and validation of other people? There will always be people that don't like you. There will always be people that seek out your flaws. I call it misery. I say misery was so miserable it couldn't even be by itself because misery loves company. But what if you chose to move the focus, move what you are giving attention to? I know this chapter won't mean that people validation will cease to exist, nor am I advocating for it to go one way or the other. I am simply stating that for you, yes, you, I would love for you to feel that worldly validation is not for you in the end all be all. Think thoughts such as, with each grateful moment of breath that God allows, I will use it to validate to God my gratefulness for his gift. Also, if you feel you need to enter the world for validation, use it as a tool to validate others, their amazingness, their power. Use it to validate God's goodness in the words of love that come from our mouth or the encouragement we can provide in times of need. Use it to validate how God's word is instruction for us. And if we just take a moment to listen to God, he will provide us the validation we need when we need it. I no longer believe in coincidences. I believe that God sends what is supposed to be sent at that moment. Whether a phone call, email, visit, or text from someone who was on your mind, a song you was just thinking of in your head, people that run across your path, it is all a part of God's plan. He gives us what we need. He gives us the tools so that when we are feeling vulnerable, that when we are feeling the need to feel accepted or validated, that we know where to run first. More than anything, flipping the script begins with flipping your mind, expanding, stretching, growing, and thinking, and then applying. Are you a worldly validation seeker? Has social media slowly sucked you in and you gravitate toward the number of likes or shares? Whose validation are you seeking? And I don't know if you noticed, but I never talked about how there is no validation seeking whatsoever. Because it is, always. Whether we want to believe it or not, even if it is seeking it from ourselves, it's there. Discussion questions. Number one, do you seek validation? Number two, from yourself or other people? Number three, why? Action step. For a full week, I want you to walk around the house, your job, at the store, and say, I love and accept myself. As many times throughout the day as you possibly can, remember, with clothes or without clothes, I want you to say, I love and accept myself. And I ask, what does that really mean? How do you love and accept yourself? You are a masterpiece. Do you believe that? What will it take for you to acknowledge the masterpiece that you are?